Income versus wealth. Picture two people. The first is a doctor, pulls $400,000 a year, leased BMW in the driveway, lunch eaten at his desk because the mortgage, the private school fees, and the second car payment don't leave room for anything else. He is one bad month away from a problem he cannot afford to have. The second is a retired postman, never earned more than $45,000 in a single year, fishes on his boat every Tuesday, owns his home outright, has investments that pay him while he sleeps. He has not thought about money anxiously in 15 years. Same country, same tax system, completely different financial lives. The difference is not what they earned, it is what they kept. Income is the water flowing into the bucket. Wealth is how much stays in it after everything else is done draining it. Most people spent their entire working lives increasing the flow, chasing promotions, raises, second jobs, while the holes in the bucket quietly undo all of it. Here is the brutal arithmetic. The doctor earns $400,000 and spends $398,000. The postman earned $45,000 and lived on $38,000 and investing $7,000 every year for 35 years. At 7% average annual return, that's $7,000 a year becomes $1.1 million by retirement. The postman retires rich. The doctor retires scared. High income does not protect you. High spending will destroy you at any salary. The goal was never to earn more. The goal was always to keep more. Budgeting. Here's how most people manage money. The paycheck arrives. Rent goes out. Groceries go out. The streaming services. The gym membership nobody uses. The dinner that was supposed to be a treat. All of it goes out. At the end of the month, the account is roughly where it always is, and the question of how is genuinely unanswerable. There was no plan. So the money made its own decisions. Budgeting is not a spreadsheet hobby for people with too much time. It is the single act of telling your money where to go before it disappears somewhere you cannot explain. The cleanest version is the 50-30-20 rule. Half your take-home pay covers needs. Rent, groceries, bills, transport. 30% covers wants. Eating out, entertainment. The things that make life feel like a life. 20% goes to savings or debt repayment before you touch anything else. That structure holds for most income levels. The categories are simple. The discipline is where it gets hard. The place budget's collapse is always the same. The wants category has no natural ceiling. One subscription becomes 6. One dinner out becomes 4. The 30% silently expands, and the 20% shrinks to nothing and then disappears entirely. That missing 20% is not just savings. At 7% invested over 20 years, $500 a month becomes $261,000. At 30 years, the same habit becomes $567,000. Every month that 20% goes unprotected, that future number shrinks. Nobody is managing this for you. The bank is not watching. Your employer is not watching. The only person hurt when the budget breaks is the one looking back at you every morning. A budget is not a restriction, it is a plan. And people without a plan spend their lives funding everybody else's. Compound interest. One question. Answer it quickly. Would you rather have $1 million today or a single penny that doubles in value every day for 30 days? Almost everyone takes the million. It is the wrong answer. Day 30 of the doubling penny is worth $5.4 million. The math feels impossible until you see it written down. And that feeling of impossibility is exactly why most people never let compound interest work for them. Compound interest is growth that eats its own offspring and gets bigger with every generation. Your returns earn returns. Those returns earn returns. The base never stops expanding. Here is what it looks like in real numbers. $1,000 invested at 8% annual return earns $80 in year 1. Now the base is $1,080. Year 2 earns 8% on $1,080, not the original 1,000. Year 3 earns on the new larger base. The number grows slowly at first, boringly slowly. Then around year 15, something changes. The growth stops feeling like addition and starts feeling like multiplication. $1,000 over 10 years at 8% becomes $2,159. Over 30 years, that same $1,000 becomes $10,063. Same money, same rate, just time doing its work. The damage side runs on exactly the same engine. A $2,000 credit card balance at 24% annual interest, paid at the minimum each month. The interest earns interest on the unpaid balance. 3 years of minimum payments later, you have paid more than the original debt and still owe money. The bank is compounding against you at the same rate that could have been compounding for you. That is not a coincidence. Banks understand this better than almost anyone. It is why your savings account pays 0.5% and your credit card charges 24%. They know which side of compound interest is worth being on. The only question left is which side you are on. Taxes. You work a full month. You know the number. You have built your whole financial plan around it. The paycheck lands. It is hundreds short. You did not overspend. You did not lose anything. Someone reached into your account before you ever touched it and helped themselves first. That feeling, that involuntary confusion followed by grudging acceptance, is the most common financial experience on earth, and almost nobody ever has it properly explained to them. Taxes are not a single deduction. They are several, running simultaneously, before and after your money reaches you. Federal income tax is the largest one. It is tiered, meaning the first portion of your income is taxed at a low rate, the next portion at a slightly higher rate, and so on. You do not pay the highest rate on everything you earn, only on the income inside that bracket. Understanding this distinction saves people money every year. Social Security tax is taken separately. It is the government forcing you to pre-fund your own retirement. You pay in for decades, draw it back in retirement. Medicare tax funds healthcare for people over 65. These three come out before a single dollar is yours. Then taxes continue after you spend. Sales tax at every register. Capital gains tax on investment profits. Property tax if you own land. Annually, indefinitely, regardless of whether you have a mortgage. Filing is where most people quietly overpay. The government knows precisely what you owe but requires you to calculate it yourself. Miss a legitimate deduction, and you hand back money you are legally entitled to keep. The system does not send a reminder about what it owes you. Tax is not optional. Overpaying it is. Every dollar you understand is a dollar you keep.